Okay, what is it? I will tell you first. Okay, Ampere circuital law. What is it? I will tell you. Now, if you have studied electrostatics, in electrostatics there is something known as Gauss law. Now, what will Gauss law do is, okay, your relation between electric flux, charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface is related as the equation shown. Okay, Gauss law for electromagnetism, what it will do is, okay, it relates flux phi is equal to closed integral of E bar dot dA bar, which is equal to charge enclosed by Gaussian surface by epsilon naught. This we have seen in electrostatics. Now here, okay, this part will anyhow give us Gauss law for electromagnetism. Now in this part, okay, here this enclosed charge, okay, your field lines will be, if your enclosed charge is positive, field lines will go out alone. If your enclosed charge is negative, field lines will come towards it. Okay, now here field lines are open lines, they need not be closed loops. Okay, now when you apply the same for, okay, that is for electrostatics, if you are applying here, and if you apply for, I mean this is for, it is not for electromagnetism, let us say it is only for electrostatics you have applied, that's all. Okay, I should not write electromagnetism, it is only electrostatics. Now I will apply Gauss law for, okay, magnetism, okay, not even electromagnetism, only magnetism. Now your electric flux is, if I do closed integral of B bar dot dA bar is equal to, okay, to write something here, okay, there is a problem. What is that problem is, if you take a bar magnet like this, for example, if this is north pole and if this is south pole, okay, in magnetism there are no independent poles, there is no possibility of only north pole and there is no possibility of only south pole, always magnetic poles exist in pairs. So if that is the case, an electric field line coming from north pole will eventually go back and join into south pole, and another line coming from north pole will eventually join like this. So everywhere what happens is your field lines are closed loops. Okay, field lines are closed loops. Okay, now if your field lines are closed loops, how many lines will come out of some area or some surface? That many lines will eventually enter. Anywhere you take any loop like this or some closed surface like this, okay, how many lines that will enter, that many lines will leave out of the surface. So as a result there is no enclosed pole strength. As a result, only possibility that comes out here is 0. Okay, so if you do areal integration, okay, over a closed loop, this dA is areal integration. So if you are doing areal integration, answer is becoming 0 here. Now here, okay, using Gauss law, what is that we have done is, okay, for continuous charge distributions we have managed to calculate E. Okay, we try to calculate E calculation. Okay, if I manage to choose proper Gaussian surface, E times A will give you Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Eventually send this area into this side, you will get the electric field value. Okay, so Gauss law helped us in calculation of electric field when there is symmetry. Okay, that is uniform charge distribution. But really a problem arises, okay, when there is, okay, Gauss law over an areal integration, okay, over some surface, okay, like this, answer is going to become 0, okay. Now what is to be done, okay, if you can't use a similar law like what you have done in electrostatics means, okay, Ampere gave something called as Ampere's law, okay. Now Ampere's law it will actually come from Biot-Savart law only, okay, we can do it, but still Ampere derived his own law having some issues with the Biot-Savart law, okay. He can prove it, we can prove it using Biot-Savart law, but he did not do it, okay. Now what is that Ampere's circuital law? I will tell you, okay. So I will continue further, okay. So what is this Ampere's law means, okay. Now as I have told you, you cannot take areal integration. So what did Ampere do is, he just simply gave, okay, closed integral of, okay, closed integral of b bar dot dl bar is equal to, okay, closed integral of b bar dot dl bar is equal to mu naught times I enclosed, okay. This is line or path integral, okay, this is line integral, it is not areal integration, it is line integration, okay. And here in this expression b bar is magnetic field, okay, I enclosed is the current in that region or the loop, okay. Now it was actually corrected form was later given by Maxwell, okay, using displacement current, okay. EM waves, we will once again touch this, okay. Correction to this was done later by Maxwell, I suppose, if I remember it correctly, okay. EM waves correction to this Ampere's law was done, okay. Ampere's law was done by Maxwell, but for now we will study Ampere's law, okay. If I manage to choose, okay, ultimately if I manage to choose some proper loop, b times integral dl is total length of loop, so b times total length of loop will be mu naught times enclosed current is I. How much is the current inside that loop? If you calculate, you will get the answer, okay. So now I will give the proof for Ampere's law, whether it is correct or not, okay, I will tell you. Now to prove Ampere's law, what he did was, he took some region called as contour, okay, right. Stokes theorem, Green's theorem you will study in engineering batch second semester, third semester and all, okay. This is called as contour. Contour means region or boundary. Now inside this contour, okay, let us say there is some current carrying wire I going like this, okay. Now let me take an axis here, okay, for clarity's sake. This is your x-axis, slightly exactly here, but for you to understand the difference, I am putting it separately. Now onto this contour, okay, I will take in the plane, okay, I mean this contour is within the plane that is present here, okay, it is in same plane, it's not going tilting up or down, okay. So it is just a simple line integral. Now inside this contour, okay, what is that I am going to do is, I am going to take, okay, three small parts. This distance is r1, this angle is d theta 1, so this is your small length dl1, okay. Here I will take a small part, here I will take a small part, r3 d theta 3, r2 d theta 2. Here I am taking small lengths dl2, small length dl3 like this, okay. I am taking three small parts like this within the plane. Now at this point your magnetic field, small magnetic field or magnetic field B1 is here, B2 will be, obviously it will be in circular path, B2 will be like this and your B3 will be like this, right? So I am taking 3 small sectors and at every point, okay, here the conductor is going like this, your magnetic field will be in, at every point it is tangential to the path. So now here if I try to apply line integral of b bar dot dl bar, okay, now your b1 times dl1, okay, because b bar dot dl, integration will indicate sum, dot product, angle is going to become 0. Why it is 0? At this point, okay, because of this conductor it will be in circular path and here dl is along the contour, so both of them will be tangential to that contour, so angle is 0. So b1 dl1 cos 0 plus b2 dl2 cos 0 plus b3 dl3 cos 0, like this you will keep adding up to get your integral of b bar dot dl bar. Okay, now any problem you just tell me, okay, your integral is sum of what? Sum of small components, here, like this you will keep repeating. Now for all these parts, okay, within this plane if you are taking, the conductor is like this and in this plane angle between these two is going to be 0. So that is going to become b1 dl1 cos 0 plus b2 dl2 cos 0 plus b3 dl3 cos 0. That will give you b1 into small length is r d theta, right? So dl1 can be written as r1 d theta 1, okay, plus b2, okay, b1 I have to write it as first, okay, I will expand each term. Your magnetic field because of infinitely long wire is how much, means your b1 is mu naught I by 2 pi times, okay, it is r1 into dl1 plus your b2 is mu naught I2 into dl2, I2 is I, mu naught I into dl2 by 2 pi r2 plus so on. Now if I take mu naught I by 2 pi common out, this dl1 by r1 is d theta 1, dl2 by r2 is d theta 2, dl3 by r3 is d theta 3 plus so on. This will keep repeating like this. So finally what is that you are going to get is mu naught I by 2 pi times sum of all the terms, integral d theta is how much, means it is theta total, that is equal to 2 pi, okay, sum of all the, for all the small parts, 2 pi will cancel off, so you are going to get mu naught into I enclosed. So this is your proof for Ampere's law, okay. So Ampere gave this kind of proof like this, okay. So actually it was completely different, some kind of double integral and all is there, but I have put it in a simplified form which is available in the basic books, okay. So don't think too much about it, for understanding sake I have told you, okay. So what is that we are doing is, we have taken Ampere gave this rule. How did he prove it? Means he took an Amperian loop. This loop or contour is also called as Amperian loop, okay. He took an Amperian loop like this and within this loop he randomly took some different elements. So on these different elements at different lengths, if he is taking the sectors like this, r1 making angle d theta 1, lengths dl1, dl2, dl3 like this, and then if he is adding, so you are going to end up with a relation like this, okay. Now from Biot-Savart law also actually you can prove this result, okay. But why did Ampere not do it? Means, okay, he is incomfortable with the sin theta factor, okay, that is given by Biot-Savart law. And another important issue with the Biot-Savart is Ampere was not comfortable with, okay, ideal element okay, ideal element, ampere was not comfortable because always current exists in, okay, a part of circuit, not like this in a small elements. Okay, so ampere was not comfortable with these two ideas given by, okay, Biot-Savart. Okay, so ampere was not comfortable with these ideas, so he just took his own proof and proved it. Okay, now what is the advantage? Okay, so you manage to choose some proper Amperian loop. B times integral dl is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. From here get the value of B. That is the advantage of doing this. Okay, so we will try to understand Ampere's law. Okay, so now let us start with final conclusion. Okay, so for different configurations then we will try to calculate magnetic field. Okay, now let me start. So I will erase this part. Okay, now we will start now. Okay, so conclusion on what I have explained so far. Okay, okay, especially for BiPC people I am doing this. Okay, I don't know how much you have understood that integration part and all. Okay, so if you have different currents, I1 like this, I2 current that is coming downwards, I3 current that is going upwards like this. Okay, now your closed integral of B bar dot dl bar is mu naught into I enclosed is the statement given by Ampere. Here your I enclosed is I1 plus I3 minus I2 because I1 and I3 are going up and I2 is coming downwards. Okay, now if you manage to choose, okay, if you manage to choose proper Amperian loop, okay, then what happens is B times integral dl is equal to mu naught times I enclosed. Okay, so if you manage to bring that, so B times total length of loop, okay, usually it will be circular. Okay, that is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. So from here you can give the value of B. Okay, so this is the conclusion of this whole story. Now what is that I am going to do is I am going to apply this Ampere's law for different electric current configurations, and then I will use that result, okay, to get the magnetic field. Okay, so I will start with, okay, magnetic field because of infinite long wire. Okay, so we will start with magnetic field because of infinite long wire. Okay, now let us start with B bar because of infinitely long wire. Okay, now previous result was mu naught I by 2 pi d sin alpha plus sin beta, and alpha and beta is equal to 90 degrees. If you apply, you are going to get as mu naught I by 2 pi d. Now that result we will prove it using Ampere's law. Now let us say you have a current carrying wire I it is extending up to infinity like this. Okay, now in this wire, okay, if you talk of magnetic field lines, it will be in concentric circles like this. Okay, now here at this point, if it is asked, okay, at some point P, if it is asked, if you consider a line which is going like this with some distance d, okay, now what is going to happen here is, okay, at this point, okay, your magnetic field is B is into the plane from right hand thumb rule. Okay, your dl element is also here into the plane, it is tangential. Okay, and at this point if you take, your B bar will be this way, dl element is also this way. So here at this point if you take, okay, here also B bar will be this way, your dl element is also this way. So everywhere your magnetic field and length both are in, okay, same direction, that too tangential to the loop. Okay, so now if you ask me, sir, how do you know that? Why you are supposed to take only the circle? That comes only through practice. Okay, from common sense and symmetry, okay, normally I can guess that at equal distances to the wire, field will be equal. So for a point, from a point, okay, locus of all the points which are at equal distance is nothing but a circle here. So that's why I have taken a circular loop. Okay, so B times, okay, B times integral dl, okay, because all the points are at equal distance, it is mu naught times I enclosed. Okay, now how much is the enclosed current in this loop? Means there is only one wire, so it is I. So B times total length of wire is 2 pi d. Okay, this circular amperian loop length is 2 pi d, that is equal to mu naught times I. From here, B bar, because of infinitely long wire is, okay, mu naught I by 2 pi d. Okay, this is your magnetic field. Okay, like this for other configurations also you have to apply. Okay, for finite wire, what is the problem? Means you cannot draw a amperian loop like this for a finite wire, because if the wire is finite, close to the wire there will be more field. Okay, as you keep going away from the wire, field will be different. But in case of infinite long wire, one thing we can say is at equal distances from that wire, everywhere the field is same. Okay, so we will use that. Okay, next is magnetic field because of, okay, this is, I can say, case 1 or something. Next, case 2. Okay, magnetic field because of infinitely long hollow cylindrical wire. Okay, hollow cylindrical wire. Okay, what is this hollow cylindrical wire? We will see now. Okay, now you have a wire like this. Let us say this is the axis. Now inside it is empty. Okay, inside it is empty. Now your current is going only on the outer region. Okay, it is like a pipe like this, where in which only in that plastic part your current is going somewhat like this. Okay, hope you have understood. Okay, inside empty. Okay, here I will write it. Okay, hollow means inside empty. Okay, inside empty. Now for this part, okay, for point inside and for point outside, we will try to calculate field. Let us say this distance is r1, okay, this is your point P. At this point I am trying to calculate field. Next I will take another point outside here, this is P, this distance is r2, okay. Now for these 2 points I will try to calculate magnetic field. For r less than r, that is inside, okay, for r less than r, okay, your magnetic field is given by, okay, integral of b bar dot dl bar is equal to mu naught times I enclosed. Now when the current is going only on that outer loop, okay, even though you take some loop here, there is no enclosed current, okay, in this loop which is at a distance r1, there is no current, only because the current is going only along outer area. So here I enclosed is 0, so your integral dl is means sum of lengths, so that is not anyhow going to be 0, so your magnetic field is 0 inside this hollow cylinder, okay. Next, for r greater than r, okay, for small r, that is for distance greater than r, okay, that means at a distance r2, okay, so that means your distance, this Amperian loop is at a distance r2 here, okay. So here if you do closed integral of b bar dot dl bar is equal to mu naught into I enclosed, here this part of the loop, okay, this part of the loop that you have there, okay, it is going to become b times integral dl, okay, integral dl is 2 pi r2, that is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. If it is r, your b is mu naught I by 2 pi r. Outside it is anyhow going to act as a long wire. If it is r2, r2, if the distance is r. So if you draw a graph of b versus r for this hollow cylindrical wire, till here it is 0. Outside it is inversely proportional to r, okay, b is inversely proportional to distance, okay. So this is because of long hollow cylindrical wire. Now next we will do the same for a solid wire, okay. So come on, copy it. Next situation, instead of hollow wire, okay, your case 3 is solid cylindrical wire. Of course it is infinitely long in place of case 2. Case 3, okay. Now for this wire, okay, I will draw the diagram, observe carefully. Now inside is not empty, so previously current was only on the edge, now current is everywhere, here, 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 here. Okay, so axis is like this, radius of this is r, okay. Now if you take the cross sectional part, Okay, your current is either, coming out like this. So I current is coming out across an area of pi r square. Okay, now current is coming across entire area. Now I'll take a small loop here. In this loop, how much current is flowing means, let us say I dash current is flowing. Okay, now I dash current is flowing across an area of pi times small r square. Okay, assuming that this distance is smaller. Okay, so for point inside, if I try to calculate magnetic field, okay, so your I dash is going to become, after cross multiplying, I times pi small r square by pi capital R square, pi will go off. Your I dash is I times small r square by capital R square. Okay. Now if you take, okay, if you try to calculate for r less than r, that is for inside point, magnetic field is B times your total length of loop is how much means small r, 2 pi small r. Okay, so this length of loop, okay, that is equal to mu naught into what is the enclosed current means I dash. I dash is how much, you will substitute it here. So substituting that, B times 2 pi r is equal to mu naught times I dash is I times r square by capital R square. R will go off. So you will get B equal to mu naught I r by 2 pi capital R square. Okay, right? So this is for r less than r. For r greater than r, no big issue. Directly it's simply B times 2 pi r is equal to whatever outside point. Okay, for r greater than r, your Amperian loop will be here at some distance r, white one. So that is equal to mu naught into enclosed current is total current I. So outside it is mu naught I by 2 pi r for r greater than r, outside point. Inside point it is mu naught I times small r by 2 pi r square. Okay, so if you draw a graph, okay, if you draw a graph for B versus R, okay, what happens is, till B is directly proportional to R for R less than or equal to R. So that is why your graph will be directly proportional to R till capital R. After that it is inversely proportional to R. Okay, this is because of infinite solid cylindrical wire. Okay, next is case 4. Will apply for infinitely long solenoid. Next case, we will try to apply for infinitely long solenoid. Okay, for finitely long solenoid, you can use the formula that is discussed previously. So this is infinitely long solenoid. Okay, next case 4, B bar because of infinitely long solenoid. Now here, okay, we will consider the previous diagram itself without wasting much time. Okay, now you take an Amperian loop like this, a rectangular shaped box like this, because your magnetic field lines will be, as I have discussed, they will be only inside. For infinitely long solenoid or finitely long solenoid, it was discussed previously very clearly that, okay, your field lines are going to be like this. Now if you take this loop, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Let us say this length is L. Let us say this length is B. Now if I apply line integral, okay, so integral of B bar dot dl bar is, okay, or closed integral is mu naught times I enclosed. Now how much is the current means your total number of turns per unit length, okay, your total number of turns is okay small n into number of total length, okay, that will give you total number of turns, okay, from left hand to right hand like this, okay, number of turns per unit length into total length. So now if I apply line integral, so integral of B bar dot dl bar from A to B plus integral of B bar dot dl bar from B to C plus integral of B bar dot dl bar from C to D plus integral of B bar dot dl bar from D to A, that is going to equal to mu naught times I enclosed. Now I enclosed is mu naught times total number of turns is small n into L times I, okay, that many times current is coming out, total number of turns into I. So total number of turns is NL into I. Now observe carefully, from A to B, angle between this length vector, this dl vector is upwards, magnetic field vector is right. So angle is 90 degrees. So magnetic field is 0. Next here, okay, angle is, okay, your dl element is like this, here angle is 90 degrees. So from C to D also theta equal to 90 degrees, cross product will become 0. Now from B to C, your magnetic field is 0, so this entire term will become 0, okay. Here B is equal to 0. Outside B is 0. For this part of the loop, this part of the loop, angle is 90 degrees. Now only thing that is pending is this, okay. Your B bar is this way, your DA bar is that way. So angle between them is 180. So cos 180. Magnitude wise, if you take B times L is equal to mu naught NL I, L will go off. You are going to get B equal to mu naught Ni. So that is your magnetic field, B equal to mu naught Ni. Okay. So this is your magnetic field because of infinitely long solenoid. Okay. Next, case 5. So at the end we cannot find out because at the end there will be non-uniform magnetic field. Okay. So at the end you cannot use Ampere's law once again. Okay. Next, case 5. Next is we will try to calculate magnetic field because of toroid. Okay. So solenoid is done. Next we will go for toroid. So what is a toroid means? Okay. Toroid is nothing but once again it is a solenoid. Okay. So it is B bar because of infinitely long toroid. So what is a toroid means? If you have a solenoid like this, okay, you bend it to form a circle. Okay. So if you bend this to form a circle, okay, what happens is looks like I am a bad artist after all. Right. So this is a toroid. You have bent the solenoid. Now if you try to calculate magnetic field, even here, okay, if you take an Amperian loop, okay, so how many times the current comes out if this distance is r, okay, if number of turns per unit length is small n, which is capital N by capital L, which is capital N by total length is 2 pi times small r, okay. So B times total length is 2 pi r, that is equal to mu naught times I enclosed is I, okay. So your magnetic field B times okay, B times total length of this loop is 2 pi r, that is equal to mu naught times I enclosed is what you are supposed to write. Now what is the enclosed current means? Okay, obviously you have to write number of turns per total number of turns, n into total length into in each loop if you are sending current I, okay. If you cut the cross section and show it, I will show it to you. So if you cut a cross section here, okay, this cross section if you are taking, okay, what happens is like I mean your enclosed current each side it is going in and out, okay. So across that cross section, okay, I current only flows. Like that, how many turns are there? That many total number of turns you have to take. So L total B times 2 pi r is equal to L total and 2 pi r both are same, okay, because your L total is anyhow how much? 2 pi r. So once again you will get B bar because of toroid is mu naught Ni, okay. This is your magnetic field because of a toroid, okay. Next we will continue further, okay. Next case 6. Now if you remember electrostatics, okay, we have calculated electric field because of infinite sheet of charge. So exactly in a similar way we can calculate magnetic field because of infinitely long, okay, infinitely long sheet of current, okay, that is your case 6, okay. Your case 6 is this B bar because of infinitely long sheet of current. So that means you have a current sheet, okay, which is going like this. From the top it is going like this, okay. Now to the left end it is still infinity, at the right end also infinity, and somewhere at some point D close to this you are supposed to calculate magnetic field, okay. Now how will you calculate for infinite sheet like this is, now if you take a small part of the sheet like this, now from here to here if the distance is D, now you take a small portion of wire which carries current out of the plane like this. Now on the exact center, if you assume this to be wire 1, if you assume this to be wire 2, if you manage to choose the axis like this, now because of 1 your magnetic field is this way, so your B1 bar is this way, because of this your magnetic field will be in circles like this, I mean it goes out like this. So at this point B2 is this way. Now here while taking itself we have taken that these two are at some equal distance, from here to here if it is x, from here to here it is x. So obviously it is okay, if it is some distance r, if this is some distance r, your B1 and B2 are at equal distance. Now what happens is, because these two are at equal distances, these two will be of equal magnitude, okay, equal magnitude. Now if this angle is theta, this angle is theta, automatically this will be theta. So vertical components will cancel off. Okay, so what happens is only, okay, because b2 can be replaced with b2 cos theta here, b2 sin theta here, and b1 can be replaced with b1 cos theta this way and b1 sin theta this way. So eventually these two components will cancel off, only horizontal components will remain same. Okay, so I'll write that only horizontal components, okay, will remain, vertical components will cancel off. So when only horizontal components are remaining, okay, what is that you can do is, okay, you can take an Amperian loop and then do the calculation. So first, hope you are comfortable with this idea. Okay, now I will take the Amperian loop now. Okay, so I am erasing it, hope you have understood it. So if I take an Amperian loop which is passing through this surface here on the top and on the bottom like this, A, B, C, D, your B bar will only go like this on the top in the horizontal direction. In the bottom direction also similarly, like how you have done, okay, it will come in the direction like this, towards right like this. Okay, on the top it will be left. Okay, similarly on the bottom it will be towards right. So now if you do line integral of b bar dot dl bar from a to b plus line integral of b bar dot dl bar, okay, let us say you are given, okay, k is equal to, okay, current per unit length, okay, k is current per unit length, let us say it is given to you, current per unit length. Now if you apply b bar dot dl bar from b to c plus integral of b bar dot dl bar from c to d plus closed integral of b bar dot dl bar from d to a, that is equal to mu naught times I enclosed is this much. So now from a to b and c to d, theta is 90 degrees. Your magnetic field is horizontal, this length dl element is this way, here your dl element is this way. So whatever up or down, in these cases theta is 90 degrees. Here it is b is constant, so it is b times, okay, it is horizontal because it is infinitely long, b will be same everywhere. So b times L plus, from d to a also it is b times L, that is equal to mu naught times I enclosed is, okay, k times current per unit length is k kabatti it is k times L, okay, because this length I am taking it to be some L, okay, so that will give you b is equal to mu naught k by 2. Okay, so that is your magnetic field because of infinite sheet. Okay, now before I continue further, okay, check whether you have understood it or not, and if you have any doubts just let me know. Okay, okay, looks like you have copied, we'll continue. Now next, is, okay, we will do an application. Okay, standard results we have derived and you are just supposed to use them in the problems, that's all. Okay, it's not going to be a much big deal. Okay, for different results we are calculating, so we'll just use them ultimately in the problems. Now next important thing that you have is, okay, let us say 1 2 3 4 5, yeah. Now let us say, okay, in this part I1 current, radius is R1. Okay, there is a wire. Okay, of course, it is carrying current like this. Coaxial cables attached to this. Okay, I2 current is going. This is R2. This is R3. Okay, here I1 current is into the plane, I2 is out. Everywhere it is out like this. The question is, at distance A there is point A, at distance B there is point B, at distance C there is point C, at distance D there is point D. Question is, using Ampere's law, find BA comma magnetic field at B comma magnetic field at C comma magnetic field at D. Okay, I want you to try it before I further explain. Okay, and let us say on the outer loop the current that is being carried is I2. Here inner loop I1 current. Okay, so it is cross section. In the entire cross section of area of pi r1 square, I1 current is going. Okay, now at different points we will try to use Ampere's law and then get the answers. Okay, so first I will start with, okay, point 1. First point 1 if you take, okay, now your point 1, okay, for point 1 I am drawing the figure. So your point 1 is across a distance A like this. Everywhere your I1 current is, okay, going into the plane. Now observe carefully. I1 current is going across an area of pi r1 square. Okay, now I want to get the enclosed current. This shaded portion part is only your enclosed current. So if I assume that to be, okay, IA, okay, IA, okay, enclosed current till point A is, okay, it is going across an area of pi a square. Okay, so if I define some area like this here, it is going till pi a square. So what is your current IA is, it is I1 times pi a square whole divided by pi r1 square. Okay, pi will go off. Your current IA is I1 into a square by r1 square. Okay, so now just simple, B times Amperian loop, 2 pi A is the distance, that is equal to mu naught times enclosed current in this part is IA. How much is IA? This much. Substitute it, you will get magnetic field BA, that is equal to mu naught times IA is I1 into a square by r1 square whole divided by 2 pi A. A will go off, you simplify, whatever you get, that is the answer. Okay, so you have to consider enclosed current. How much is the enclosed current? Accordingly you give the answer. Okay, next, second, point 2. Okay, I am erasing it. Okay, I hope you have understood it. Okay, so I1 is the total current going across full area. but I want current only in this portion. In this portion, how much current goes means we will use the idea of symmetry. IA is the current that is going in this yellow color portion. So you will use that. Okay. Next, point 2. For point 2, okay, there is not much point B. Okay. Sorry, point 1, point A was the previous one. For point B, you have I1 current here. Let's not use a different color. So you have this Amperian loop will be here at some distance B. Now your I1 is the enclosed current. So here directly B times 2 pi B is equal to mu naught times, inside this loop only one current of I1 is there. So you can directly write mu naught times I1. So B is equal to, B at point B is, okay, mu naught I1 by 2 pi D. Okay, because the Amperian loop passing through this will enclose only this part. It will not enclose this portion. So current is only this much. Okay. Next, now coming to the third point C, okay, the problem will arise. Okay. So now observe carefully for the point C how we are going to calculate the magnetic field. So for point C, what happens is, first of all, okay, now I will choose an Amperian loop here. Now I2 current, okay, I2 current will go across an area of pi times, okay, I2 current will go across an area of pi times R3 square minus R2 square. Okay, this I2 current is flowing across this entire shaded portion, and that too out of the plane. So only in this portion, if you want the current, let us say it is some IC, okay, your IC current will flow across an area of pi times, from here to here the distance is given as C. So pi times C square minus R2 square is the current, okay, because your current is distributed only in this portion, okay, from C to this part was your R2 and outridge was R3. So between C and R2 your current is IC. So if you cross multiply, okay, your IC is equal to, okay, I2 times C square minus R2 square, okay, R3 square minus R2 square, okay. So now IC current is known, okay. Now here observe carefully, it is out of the plane, okay. Now if you apply Ampere's law, here we have already in this portion we already have I1. I1 is into the plane, this IC is out of the plane. So B times 2 pi into this distance is how much means C, okay, because this distance is given as C clearly, okay, that is equal to mu naught times I enclosed is I1 minus IC, okay, one is going into the plane and other one is coming out of the plane. So this is B at C. Once you get B at C, okay, simplify, substituting the values you will get basic, okay. Normally all these relations will be given R, 2R, 3R, at 3R by 2 you find out, like that they will give you the answers. So you can simplify, okay. Next, this is regarding point 3, okay. Now the last point, okay, that is B4, okay, I mean B at D. So coming to the last point, okay, your last point there is not much to explain, already you have one enclosed by this, there is one more. So if you take an Amperian loop here, so directly B times 2 pi d is equal to mu naught times I enclosed. I enclosed is, here it is I1, here it is I2. So mu naught times I1 minus I2 directly, because one is into the plane and other is out of the plane. So simplify, you will get the answer. Okay, this is your B at D. Okay, so like this you can calculate magnetic field at different